Hi, everybody. This is Emily. I'm a literary consultant and a fiction writing coach, a published fiction author, and a college English instructor. And I'm here to talk to you about how to get 100 reviews or 100 readers for your upcoming book and what I did to do just that for my Sweet Romance series. And if you're new to this channel, I produce content to help you turn your fiction and your love of writing fiction into a career. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for any new videos. Okay, let's talk about it. So how to get 100 subscribers and why 100? Because 100 reviews, well, okay, there's a difference between 100 reviews, 100 subscribers to your email list, and 100 fans. Because not all of your fans are going to subscribe. Not all of your subscribers are going to necessarily be fans, and not all of who buy your books and read them will leave reviews. But let's talk about the magic 100 number. So first of all, here's my philosophy, guys. 100 of anything is better than 50 or 0 of that same thing. 100 is like the magic number. 100 can boost algorithms. 100 is enough to get you really noticed and stand out once you're in the 3 digits. There's a big difference between 90 and 100 when it comes to reviews, or when it comes to email lists, or when it comes to views on your webpage every day. And just before I get into this, you should have an email list because you can pre-sell your books through pre-orders from an email list. And how do you get an email list? That's a whole other video, but I just want to let you know you need to have one, okay, for your fans, followers, readers, agents, publishers, whoever could be possibly interested in your stuff or wants to hear about your books. All right, so let's talk about this. So 100 reviews, 100 readers, 100 followers, 100 fans. All right, so let's first talk about how to get ideally 100 reviews on your book. Now, I set out to do just this. I had a commitment from 100 people to get the reviews. What I sorely discovered is not everybody wants to put their reviews in the same place, which didn't help me the way that I thought it would. I might have had 30 in one place, 40 in another place, 20 in this place. Some people leave them on Amazon, some leave them on Barnes & Noble, some left them on Powell's Books, some left them on Goodreads, some left them on BookBub. They're all like we're done on different places depending on either, and I gave them the book for free. So it just depended on like what they preferred, what they used. But anyway, here is what I did. So when the first finalized multiple edited drafts by me was done, when it was off to my editor, my final editor, which is again before the final proofreader, I started severely marketing my book because I knew it would be released and done in the next 3 months. And I released 3 books at once. Okay, because I wanted, and I talk about this in another video I just made on the #1 secret to becoming a career author. So check that out. I'll link that video below. But I was able to get a ton of reviews, and there are multiple ways that I did it. But the best way of doing that is you have to remember, you cannot rely on random people who buy your book to leave reviews. The majority of people don't leave product reviews. I've been buying on Amazon for years, all kinds of household stuff, aluminum foil and toilet paper and books and clothes and I don't know, paper clips, like cat food. I can say I've only left reviews on a few things on Amazon in my life. I buy jewelry on JTV. I buy stuff on HSN. I don't think I've ever left a review unless it's something that really struck me as fantastical and like magical and brilliant and enchanting. So you could have, I think I read a statistic that says something like you can only expect 10 to 15% of people who buy your book out of the blue to leave a review. And that's really small. That means out of 100 people, 10 to 15 people might leave a review. Likely. That's sucks, you guys. So don't make the mistake of seeing a book you look at, someone's book page or your own, and seeing you only have 10, 15, 20, 30 reviews. That does not mean only 30 people bought it. And once you're an author selling books, let's say, for example, on Amazon, if you're self-published, you can see you've sold 200 and you only have 12 stinking reviews or 30 reviews. So that doesn't really mean anything. So don't let that be disheartening to you, or don't let that mislead you about choosing what might be a good book. And a lot of average readers don't understand that. They might see, oh, this book, person only has 100 reviews. And I guarantee you, if they go to a page of a book they like and there's like 500 or 1,000 reviews, I guarantee you those authors or publishers did some severe strategies to get those reviews. And it wasn't just random universe people finding that book. Okay. So what you can do, this is one thing that I did, is I opened an Excel spreadsheet and I started brainstorming in each column a list of as many people I knew as I could think of. This included parents, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, current spouses, ex-spouses, adult children, daughters-in-laws, son-in-laws, neighbors, long-term friends, old-term friends, high school friends, people from work, people from my neighborhood. I just brainstormed as many people I could think of. I think I got to about 50, listing all their names. Then I went back and I contacted them all. Some were phone, some were Facebook Instant Messenger, some were email, some were chat, text. I said, would you be willing if I send you a free copy, a PDF formatted copy of the interior of my book? Would you be willing to read it by X date and have a little review prepared that you can cut and paste in when my book launches? So you want to do this like a few months beforehand. And 10 times out of 10, they said yes. So then I would ask for their email address, and I'm sorry, one person out of 50 said no because he doesn't read romance and he wasn't about to start, even for me. But I put a check mark. I had a box on Excel next to the names for their email address, which I put all their email addresses in. Then I had boxes for unwilling to read, and I would only check a box for people that didn't want to read it, not the ones that did, and there was only like one person. So I had that down. Then I had to come up with another 50 people. And the way I did this was through my Facebook writers groups, my fiction author writing groups, my self-publishing groups, my romance writers groups, I had like 4 or 5 different Facebook groups that I was a member in. And I would quite simply post a cover image. You want to have your cover designed before you do this, and a final professional cover by a professional graphic artist. The cover I would put into a Facebook post. I would put at the top, a few little emojis to catch people's eye and say, who would be willing to receive a free copy of my book in exchange for a review by this date. And I would even say, in exchange, I'll read yours, for example, because most of them were authors. And you could, first I tried who would be willing to read a free copy of this book if I gave it to you for a free review. I got some response, but then I realized everyone in there is a writer. They're busy. They want reviews on their book. So I said, who would be willing to read my book? Here's and get a free PDF copy in exchange for me reading and putting a review on yours. And we agreed to these dates. And I got so many responses. And actually, the first amount of responses I got that weren't from authors were just in a book Facebook groups that were like, romance readers, romance fanatics. You want to target the groups that are where the readers are of your genre. And you want to have groups that where the writers are, because you can use these strategies in 2 different groups. So where the readers are, that's where you go in there and be like, who would be willing? And so many people were like thrilled and honored to get to see a pre-screened copy of a book. And it's because my cover blew their minds and kind of was like a Hallmarky romance, Debbie Macomber style cover. And that really sold the story. If you have some cheesy kind of self-made done cover on there, people might see it more of I don't know. So the trick was in the stinking awesome professionally designed cover that told a story in itself by how the cover was designed, and even a little book blurb and whatnot. So all the people, and I told people, make a comment in the Facebook thread below if you're willing. All those people that comment, I clicked each one. I sent them an instant messenger. I said, thanks so much for being willing to read my book. Please give me your address. I'll send you the copy. I could use the review by this date. Or sooner, or whatever. And I get their email. I go put in their name in the Excel chart. I put their email address in the Excel chart. And then for those people, I put a category and a note on the line where I found them. Romance writers face group, romance lovers Facebook group. So I wanted to remember where I found them, because these are people I didn't know, because I had to contact them again and stuff. So then I would send all of theirs, and I got 100 people. It wasn't that hard. And I had one other strategy, and that was through using a platform. There's another way you can deliver these manuscripts. You can email it to them as attachments, but there's another way you can deliver it to them as well. I can cover that in another video. Some of the different software platforms you can use that are very inexpensive for finding readers and getting review copies out there. But so that's what I did. And I sent them all the manuscript. And I made it clear this isn't the final from my edited version. This is the version that's had the final edited several times by me. But I'm I have a master's in professional writing and a master's in adult education, and I edit a lot of my own work. I still have my own editor, and I have a proofreader for my editor because I'm like super meticulous. And my first books, before I started rewriting them, my crime drama books had a lot of mistakes. I had a bad editor, and this was long before I had all of my training. So I was pretty confident that the version I would send them would be minimal. Out of 400 or 500 pages, there might only be a dozen errors or something. And I let them know that the final was still in the editing process, because you have to send this to people ahead of time, because when you release your book, you want the reviews all up there in the first couple of days. You don't want to give people the free copies once your book is released and then have them take a month to read it or 2 months to read it, because you want all those reviews to start building on Amazon, for example, or the Barnes & Noble site when it's a new release pretty quickly. So this is how I got 100 people to review my books. Now, the thing is, I released 3 books at once because I wanted my series, the people that did find me randomly, the people that are voracious romance readers or series, readers, to have more content to consume, and to prove to them I can regularly, release content. So now 2 good things happened from doing this. One is that Excel sheet gave me 100 emails that I then imported into MailChimp into an email list. And then I would send these people regular newsletters and info about upcoming books. So that's how I also grew my email list. But it also gave me a chance for 100 reviews. So I made one mistake, though. I wasn't clear to these people where to leave the reviews. So a bunch left them on Goodreads, some left on Amazon for the different books, some left on Barnes & Noble online, some left on BookBub, some left on like the Apple store. Like when the book finally came out, it was for sale everywhere. So like they left them in all these random places. And if I had to do it over, I would say, give me an Amazon review, an Amazon review, an Amazon review. So some of those people, I did go back and say, could you repost that same review into Amazon or whatever? And by then, some of the ones I didn't know, they're kind of long moved on or vanished or whatever. So it's kind of tricky. I have heard some stories. There are some horror stories and warnings out there about how with the algorithms, if you have primary family members, like on your Facebook page, like if you have a Facebook account, and then you can say relationships with, mom, dad, brother, you all have like, if your mom, dad, and brother are all Facebook pages, and you do add relationships in your profile, and you can link to these people on Facebook who are your family members. A few people I have heard that have asked their mom, their dad, their brother with the same last names that are on their Facebook pages or LinkedIn's to go, and that's another place people put a bunch of reviews, is LinkedIn. I have no idea why, and that's not even where I would have thought they would put their reviews. But anyway, there is some stories. If you have these people, your mom, your dad, your brother, and they're all linked as relationships on your Facebook or LinkedIn page, primarily Facebook, if they go to post a review on Amazon has an algorithm that like searches the internet world within that's why the review takes like 24 to 48 hours before it will post. That the Amazon now has to review them. Their algorithm will search for relationships, right? Especially when they're not verified purchases. When you're giving books away for free, these are considered review copies, and they're not a verified purchase. So I've had a few people tell me their family members, their review posting was denied. So I'm sorry, we've determined this person has a relationship to you, we can't post it. So what I recommend is about a couple weeks before you're about to have all your friends and family who are matching relationships, especially with same last names, on your social media, I recommend you remove them all from all your social medias several weeks before. Or a month before. Just temporarily take your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousin, everyone that's related to you off of your accounts. Remove them. You can add them back on later after their reviews go on. And so then I had a few other students of mine in my workshops do that, and all their families and parents and siblings reviews went through, and then they would add them back on their social medias. So that's just something to keep in mind. It doesn't tend to do so much with like casual people that are on your friends lists, more like direct family. It's like the little spies of the internet know, like you're having your mom and dad and your husband and go out there and post reviews. So just a little warning. So let's see, what else have I not covered yet? So that's what I did. I got my 100 reviews. I didn't get them all in one place, but I did end up with 100 people on my email list. So that still was beneficial. And these people all bought different reviews. And another thing, so I was releasing 3 books at once, different people that said they'd be willing to give the free reviews. A lot of them chose from the different books. Some of them wanted to read them all. Great, I sent them all. Some said, I just want the Christmas one. I just want the Halloween one. I just want the autumn themed one, whatever. And that was fine too. So that's one other thing I did. And so the trick is to get, 100 fans, people that will want to follow you and buy all your upcoming books. Let's just like your base core 100 fans. And one way to do this is to release a few books at once, so they know you can regularly produce content they can consume. And once they've read more than one book of yours, especially at once, back to back, they're really going to remember you. Another way is to have the email list, and another way is to get 100 reviews. So these are some of the things that I did that you can get started with before you release your book. And check out the other video I linked down here as well. And just ask, but be careful with copyright. So when you're sending your manuscript to people you don't know, this is why it's a little safer. It's a little riskier when you're in a writers group, like a social media writing group, like I don't know, Fantasy Writers of America, whatever the writers group is. And then you ask which writers want to read yours for free reviews or in exchange for reviews that you can give back. You're a little more likely to have a little more increased risk of someone liking your writing, taking some of your content, putting into their own book, maybe. You always want it, but your book is copywritten from the minute you put it on paper. It doesn't have to be in print to be copywritten, and you can put a copyright notice on the bottom of your manuscript and a watermark, which is what I would highly, highly recommend that you're sending to people on your PDF. But when you post it in like Facebook groups that are for readers, Romance Readers of America, or romance fanatics, or sci-fi fanatic readers, where they discuss different books they're reading, those people aren't writers generally. Probably most of them are probably just fans, so you don't have to worry so much about that. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and I hope to keep creating great content that can help you become a career fiction author. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.